So you're thinking of moving to Highlands Ranch, Colorado. In this video, we're going to share everything you need to know about the opportunity of moving to Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Overall, Highlands Ranch is about 26 miles south of Denver. It is a part of the Douglas County School District, and it has an A+ school rating. The population of Highlands Ranch is 103,000 people, and the percent of home ownership is 80%, which is really high for a suburb. Excellent stat. The median income in Highlands Ranch is $137,000, and the median home value is about $544,000. All this information is according to niche.com. And if you stick around to the end, we will share something special about living in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. We're gonna get to it right now.
If this is your first time to our channel, then tap the bell or subscribe below so that you can be the first to know everything there is to know about the market here in Denver, Colorado. I'm Michelle Wise.
And I'm Cheryl Crown.
And we are
living in Denver, Colorado.
We get calls and emails every day from people just like you looking to make the move to Denver, Colorado. Today, Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All of our information's down below. And that way, we drop videos a couple times a week. You'll be the first to know when one drops. And while we are realtors here in the state of Colorado, our main purpose with these videos is to give you more information about the various towns and cities in and around Denver, Colorado, so that you can make an easy transition to Denver, Colorado. Okay, so let's get to it. So, pros and cons of Highlands Ranch. So, first off, I think we need to touch a little bit on the history of Highlands Ranch. Highlands Ranch is a master plan community. So, back in the 1980s, the developers came in, talked with the cities, and they decided to plan this master plan community. Fully planned out from border to border on all four sides. And while they didn't build it all at that time in the 80s, it was planned out and it's still being built pretty much according to that original plan. So with that, they designed pockets of neighborhoods, streets, where the cut-throughs were gonna go, where the rec centers were gonna go. And as it expanded, they've pretty much kept pretty close to that same development plan. So with that, because it is a newer city, again, started being built in the 80s, there's not an old town per se, or like the old historic district that, you know, used to be the main hub of the city back in, you know, in Cowtown days or anything.
Well, like Castle Rock and Parker, Littleton, they all have their really charming downtowns. Highlands Ranch does not have a charming downtown.
What they've done is they've created a retail center that they call Town Center of Highlands Ranch. Great location, beautiful, nicely developed, but it's new. I mean, it was built within the last 20, 30 years, and it's got restaurants and bars and big box stores, as well as, you know, all the chain retails. There's a few mom and pop places I think popped in there, but a lot of it is your standard commercial development site. And so kind of where I'm going with all that is that people, when you hear people talk about Highlands Ranch, they say you're in a bubble. So, you know, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. I mean, I think it can be both, honestly.
Well, I think so too. And I mean, the perk of the bubble is that you never really have to leave unless you want to. No. You can get all of your needs met in Highlands Ranch, and whether it's shopping or nightlife or outdoor activities, anything.
Hospitals, I mean, yeah, right. They have several hospitals. They have they have a branch of Children's Hospital. Again, it was very well thought out when they planned. They thought of everything. And when you think about that being 40 some years ago, that's actually really impressive. You
Absolutely.
know?
It was very forward thinking, I think, for the time.
Yeah, but you don't have to go anywhere. You can zip to the corner, zip to the other side of Highlands Ranch, and you can have all your needs met as far as what you need. You can work there, you can eat there, you can play there, you can drink there,
right.
You can shop there, you can do everything.
And if you don't want to, you don't have to. Downtown Denver is only about 15, 20 minutes away, so you can get out of Highlands Ranch. You don't have to live in the bubble and you know, just live your life around everything Highlands Ranch. You still have great proximity to the foothills, great proximity to the mountains. 470 takes you anywhere you want to go, east to west, even to I-25, which is north-south. So
I mean, from Highlands Ranch, you're really close to the mountains and lakes and outdoor activities. So, and on top of it, they have a ton of open space and trails,
thousands
and parks. So it's not uncommon to see people out riding their bikes on the trails, or walking their dogs, or snowshoeing when it's snowy.
Or heading to Chatfield to take your boat out and go water skiing or paddleboarding or whatever it is you want. It's like right next door to Highlands Ranch.
Right. And so again, part of the bubble is that, you can stay or you can leave. So when people talk about that, I think it's personal preference. So schools are great in Highlands Ranch. The Douglas County School District.
A plus
rating. So top scores, top graduation rates, top facilities, top
sport
athletics. Douglas County offers a ton of post-grad credit as well in their schools. There's a IB program, you name it, they have all the top programs that you could want. So you can graduate with some college credit if you have kids. And again, we've touched on this and we touch on it all the time, but schools are super important to resale value. So if you don't have kids, it's still totally something you should consider when buying a house, because
you can't change it.
You can't change it. You're stuck with it. And the next person coming in to buy your house, that may be the number one important thing to them. And if there's nothing you can do about it if you don't have good schools around you. So,
and to follow up on our last video of Highlands Ranch, my son was playing against the number one team in the state, basketball team. Unfortunately, we lost, but it was only by 20 points. So I was kind of feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, and they've done really good since, right?
Yes, absolutely. They're actually going to head into the playoffs really soon. And so, our little Parker Ponderosa High School basketball team is making a name for themselves.
But that's not
this
in
year.
Highlands Ranch.
No, it's Parker.
Right. But again, that's important. If your kids have ambition to go on and play above and beyond high school, even though club sports can be really important, high school athletics definitely gives them that foundation and gives them, a fun chance to play with their peers and compete with people they know. So
absolutely,
it's a great thing for them.
Yeah, and they also have actually a really good preliminary program, I guess you can call it, between the I'm not sure what they're.
Yeah, like the rec programs oftentimes here pair with the high schools. So like a feeder area of a high school will have
a Gold Crown team.
Yeah, the Thunder Ridge, lower level, the kids that will come eventually into Thunder Ridge High School or Mountain Vista High School, they'll have neighborhood middle and elementary schools that create a feeder program, and they play. And so that by the time they get to high school, they've been playing together for a long time and have friends and can, go in and they're used to playing together.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage.
Yeah. So kind of going back, this is a pro or a con. I think most people might consider it a con, but the bubble of Highlands Ranch, that con might be that everything was built at the same time or close. So you're not going to find a lot of houses in Highlands Ranch that were built before 1980. I mean, Highlands Ranch didn't exist back then. And again, it was a lot of ranches. So those mostly were bought out, tore down. So you're not going to have an old little pocket of homes around, the old town center. Like, it just doesn't exist in Highlands Ranch. Pretty much every single house is going to be 1980 or newer.
And they all look very similar.
Very similar.
You get confused driving from neighborhood to neighborhood because they all really do have a very similar vibe.
They do. And there's really not any straight streets in Highlands Ranch.
I noticed that.
Everything winds around. Again, part of that master plan, but because you're kind of winding and bending, if you're not familiar with it, it's very easy to get turned around because nothing's straight and you end up looking at a corner that looks like the corner, 6 blocks down the road. So it's that might be considered a con. But the fact that it's newer homes, maybe some of the 80s homes, the 90s homes, you might need to go in and do some updating to bring them up to today's standards. But you're not going to have old electrical, old plumbing, old wiring, things of that nature that you would in other towns. So even if you have to go in and do a little bit of work, it's usually more just straight cosmetic work than it would be structural infrastructure type of things.
Yeah, that's definitely a pro, I would say.
Yeah, most definitely. But you got to know you're going to look like the house next door too. So that might be a con for you. Right.
Well, the other thing that's cool about the neighborhoods, though, is when they did the master plan, so many houses back to open space.
Yes.
So you can find a lot of options that don't have neighbors in the backyard.
Most definitely.
And I think that's another pro because a lot of people, they want the views. Of course, we've already talked about the Highlands Ranch views, but they also don't want to feel like they're in a master plan community, even though
The fishbowl community.
Exactly.
Yeah, and because it's on the south end of Denver, it's a little bit more hilly and ravines and things like that. So you get a lot of that open space. You can back to a lot of that open space. There's trails within a lot of that open space. And that's definitely a pro of living in Highlands Ranch for sure, if you like that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another cool aspect of living in Highlands Ranch is the availability of Highlands Ranch Mansion. You can rent it out for private parties and events.
Yeah. It actually was, so Highlands Ranch, big portion of the area, was owned by one rancher. It's actually still a working ranch in the middle of Highlands Ranch. And with that, there's the Highlands Ranch Mansion that sits on the edge of it. It's no longer a private residence. It is a event center, but it backs to the working ranch. You can see it. A lot of kids go there for prom pictures. There's weddings, other private events. It's really
it's unique. It's something that's unique to Highlands Ranch.
And when you look at everything being master planned and newer around it, it is one of the older things in Highlands Ranch. So it kind of stands out. It's very famous here, and it's definitely a place you want to check out.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's Highlands Ranch. Pros and cons, why you should live here, why maybe you shouldn't, why it's for you, why it's not. We appreciate you being here today. If you want to know even more about Denver and Highlands Ranch and the surrounding areas, make sure you subscribe or tap notifications below. Contact us. We're happy to take phone calls, emails, texts. Just give us a call. We'd be happy to help you.